In this video, we are going to go over what is LinkedIn, who uses LinkedIn, and tips to get you started on LinkedIn. And make sure you stick around until the end because we are going to talk about this LinkedIn strategy that no one else is talking about. So what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a social networking site similar to a Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. The difference is it is a professional network where people can go to find jobs or get support with their careers. LinkedIn even has some skill aptitude tests where you can show your competencies in certain areas. And it also even has some learning portals and courses where you can go to even learn some more knowledge. So primarily when you think of a Facebook or Instagram, this is really a social place where you might see a lot of things with humorous videos or funny family stuff or animals or babies, things like that. But LinkedIn is more so, as I mentioned, a professional platform where people really go to network for their careers. Now, who uses LinkedIn? LinkedIn is, I would say, mostly for service professionals, but it can range a wide range of careers or professionals that's represented on the platform. Anyone who wants to build their professional network, anyone who is seeking a new career, anyone who just wants to broaden their horizons in a professional setting, or even stay connected to people who they've met in person at a networking event or at their job or however. This is a great way to stay connected. So anyone who wants to build in a professional capacity uses LinkedIn or can use LinkedIn. Now, make sure actually you connect with me on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn. Follow me for more social media tips on LinkedIn. And my username is going to be 𝘧𝘰𝘳-𝘱𝘳𝘰𝘭𝘴. Make sure you connect with me there. Now, no one is really talking about this particular strategy or service really for service providers and freelancers on LinkedIn. I feel like it's been really a little bit under wraps, but I think it can potentially be something. We don't know how it will go, but like any new service or platform, it is good if you can get in the early stages. So I'm going to be sharing this with you now. And it is LinkedIn service pages. So you may or may not be familiar with platforms such as Upwork or Fiverr, and these are websites where freelancers go to get jobs. Now, Upwork is a really kind of a paid service. You can get some free access, but ultimately you may have to pay for it. And whether you are a paid member or not, once you are connected with some sort of client or customer, Upwork does take a percentage of your rate or your fees. Same for Fiverr. LinkedIn service pages is a pretty brand new component of LinkedIn that is being launched to compete with Upwork and Fiverr, and it makes complete sense. Professionals are already using this platform. Service providers are already using this platform. So I feel like it's a really smart step for LinkedIn to expand in this area, especially after last year and everything going on. Well, as right now it's 2021. So last year when we had the world basically shut down and a lot of things transitioned online and an uptick in freelance work, it just really makes sense for LinkedIn to invest in this area. So LinkedIn service pages, as I mentioned, is a place where freelancers and service providers, they can basically open their own page within their profile to make themselves available for work. LinkedIn famously has been known for job seekers and offering career opportunities, and you can submit for jobs. So I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with LinkedIn service pages and how it will help freelancers and businesses to be able to better promote their services using the platform. So I've already launched my own LinkedIn service page and I will be making updates to it soon. Right now it's just kind of a placeholder because I would love to be an early adapter because I do anticipate this going well. Again, we never know, but I do want to be an early adapter. So if you are a service provider or freelancer, it is something that you should definitely jump on and get started because there's really nothing to lose. I actually received a LinkedIn lead. So it's where I got an email. Someone found myself and my service page and they submitted, and I got a lead specifically through LinkedIn. So again, I'm really excited to see what the future holds for this. So now I want to give you some tips for getting started on LinkedIn. The first thing you want to do is optimize your profile. Here are some tips to optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So first, you want to focus on your profile picture. Now remember, when focusing on your profile picture, that LinkedIn is a professional platform, and so you ideally want to be presenting yourself in a professional light. Generally, pictures that are happy and smiling, it doesn't need to be overly happy, but just very professional and approachable. Someone that you would like to work with is ultimately the way you want to represent yourself in your profile picture. Always a good idea to maybe ask for a second opinion or use a professional headshot, but it is completely fine to take a picture of yourself to get started. Just again, making sure that it is a professional picture, a professional looking picture. Next, you want to focus on your headline, what your LinkedIn profile says at the top. Usually you can put your title so people can clearly understand what you currently do and what services you currently offer. Next, if you have the opportunity, I believe this is a part of LinkedIn's paid service. The last time I checked, it may have changed. Or you can get a trial to LinkedIn if you're new or if it offers you a trial, but you want to be able to update your cover photo if possible, because it can, again, be another representation of your personal brand and letting people understand a part of your professional personality and what you offer. Next, you want to focus on your bio. You want to cover anything that you've accomplished in your career, things that you bring as a service professional, and ways that people can connect with you. Now, there are only a certain amount of characters that show at the top of that bio, and then someone has to press read more. So it's very important that you start off in a way that is as compelling as possible, that can draw your readers in to learn more about you and what you can offer, whether you're a career professional or a service provider. Next, it's recommended to join groups. Now, I utilize a lot of Facebook groups, and LinkedIn groups are similar, except again, they're in a professional capacity. So you want to look for LinkedIn groups that make sense for you. If you're a service provider, it may be where your clients and customers hang out. It could be a peer group where you go to network and share and gather resources. If you are a career professional looking to network, you may join those types of groups. So there are a plethora of groups available on LinkedIn for you to choose from. You can choose just a few to get started and expand from there. Next, so this is something that's interesting because this is where it comes back to LinkedIn being a professional platform. On a personal Facebook page, you don't really have any space for recommendations or people to really speak to your character. That's more saved for a Facebook business page where people can offer you reviews. So the interesting thing about LinkedIn is we actually have the ability on our personal profiles for people that we have worked with in a professional capacity or that we know to offer character references as well as skill references so that they can recommend us, give us words of praise for the work that we do or that we've done so that other people can know that we are credible professionals. Now, this is also important as well. You do want to speak to your education. There is an education section on LinkedIn. So it's similar to actually building up a very compelling resume. I would suggest putting relevant education on there. And if you lack in the education department, you can put anything from internships. And there's also a section for volunteer work. Now, if you have relevant career experience, it may not be as important. But if you are just building your career, or if you're looking to transition, this education space may be very important. There's also the ability to add different certifications and things that you have. They actually have the ability to connect to different websites. For example, I think of HubSpot. HubSpot has certain certifications. So you can actually add directly from HubSpot. You can add a verified certification, which is great because it adds that extra level of credibility. Then you want to focus on your skills, your skill set. So it will be anything that is representative of your service and your careers, whether it's digital marketing or copywriting or whatever it is relevant to your industry. And people can also recommend isn't quite the right word, but validate. They can give you points towards saying that they are familiar with this skill, that you actually have this skill and are proficient in this skill. So it adds another layer of credibility and social proof, which is excellent. You also want to make sure that your profile is public, especially if you are looking to connect and you are looking for people to find you and you're looking to search for jobs or services. Making sure your profile is public is very important. Now, it might seem pretty elementary, but a lot of times we can forget the simplest steps. So very important to mention that. Last, we have articles. Articles are similar to blogs. You can put those on your profile. Although we are still headed towards a video age in the digital landscape, it is still extremely valuable to add articles to your LinkedIn profile as possible to position yourself as an expert within your career or your industry or your service and your niche. Now, you can always repurpose blog articles, or if you did a video, you can repurpose everything that you've said in a video to be made into an article. So there's plenty of ways to do that. I hope that helps you get started on LinkedIn, whether you are a career professional or service provider, whether you're a freelancer or a business owner. I highly recommend LinkedIn as a place to network and continue to grow. Follow me for more social media tips for your business.